I have a habit of making rash video game purchases. In 2022, I bought Elden Ring. I'd never played a Souls-like game in my life. At first, I hated it. Then I came to love the game. And even though I never beat it, Elden Ring gave me a new appreciation for challenging games. In 2016, I purchased Overwatch at launch on a whim. I too hated that game at first, coming from years of playing Call of Duty. But over the summer of 2016, something clicked. I couldn't put the game down. I played Overwatch faithfully for its entire lifespan. Overwatch 2. Going back even further, in 2013 I bought an arcade stick. I got into this habit of watching a lot of fighting game videos and trying to learn tech skill. I even bought a notebook so I could take notes on the game. That didn't stick though, and it sits in the closet to this day. The point is, I have a buy first, ask questions second mentality when it comes to video games. Sometimes it bites me in the butt, and I ended up buying games that I come to loathe. But sometimes it leads me to a hidden gem. A game that I can't put down no matter how hard I try. Most recently, that game is Rush Cyberfunk. That game is quite possibly my game of the year. I know, I'm late. It has great visuals, gameplay mechanics, and an awesome soundtrack. But you know me, I love it. Like, this is literally possibly my favorite game that I've played this year. Or in 2023. Like, it's so fun. It's basically my Solar Ash of, I think that was 2021, or my Roller Drome of 2022. But I'm not sure if I could recommend it to just anyone. This game was made with a very specific set of fans in mind. I've never played the Jet Set Radio games. Hopefully that changes in the future if Sega releases them from the vault. But the inspiration and execution of BRC being a spiritual successor to those games is well alive here. Rush Cyberfunk takes place over the course of 7 or so levels. Admittedly, at first glance, the levels are bland. I mean, the art style is great. It's kind of a cel-shaded look, reminiscent of like a Dragon Ball Z Budokai game or Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. But in this fictional city of New Amsterdam, a lot of the terrain is, well, like a real city. It's flat ground, streets, alleyways, and sidewalks. But the initial simplicity is thrown out the window after considering how the game expects you to navigate its terrain. Whether on skateboard, bike, or rollerblading, the combination of grinding, wall riding, and manualing is enough to take this open terrain and turn it into a playground for combos. One of the game's main goals sees the protagonist trying to become all city. In other words, they want to become the best graffiti crew in the city. Side note, the other goal is to find this guy's head. I'll not touch on that. If you want to play the game, you can figure out how that goes down for yourself. But the goal of going all city means tagging up as much turf as you can and beating other crews in score contests. Each level aids the player in making the goal of going all city possible. One area of Millennium Mall, for example, expects the player to manual across huge swaths of flat ground to be able to get to the grind areas where you can traverse higher and higher through the mall. It's like a 4-story complex, and you can only get up there in a combo if you grind up the escalators. Alternatively, Pyramid Island and its complex series of suspended rails is perfect for mastering your boost dashes and figuring out the best time to jump to extend your combo. All these levels are littered with graffiti spots to be tagged, as well as collectibles like outfits, songs, characters you could find, all for the taking. The levels are made even more satisfying when trying to master the game's combo system. Unlike in Tony Hawk Pro Skater, where you use manuals and grinds to extend your combo to other areas of the level, Rush Cyberfunk only rewards you combo multipliers if you do certain actions. This means you want to hit ramps, you want to lean into corners, you want to wall ride. All of those will add to your score multiplier and inevitably make your combo points balloon. Interestingly though, each corner, ramp, and wall ride can only be used once per combo. Or if you're doing a score challenge with another crew, it can only be used once during that score challenge. This means you have to find unique ways to be able to traverse the level and hit as many corners and ramps as possible without doubling back on yourself. Figuring out the best route to take on the fly is key to amassing the biggest score. And that's the core of Rush Cyberfunk, being so in tune with the levels that you can pull off a multi-million point score. And as much as it might seem that BRC is an extreme sports game, it's really just an 3D explorational platformer. Of course, this package is amplified by an incredible soundtrack, maybe most notably featuring Jet Set Radio composer Hideki Naganuma, but his tracks aside, all the songs curated by Team Reptile for BRC speak to the futuristic and funky world that New Amsterdam is. I own the game 2 times over, for the Switch and the PS5. And granted, I still get giddy when Flam Claps in the Pocket plays. Interestingly, I don't know that he's actually Flam Clap. I think that artist goes by another name. At least it's credited differently on YouTube Music. I don't know. But I can admit that there should be a few more songs in the game. Some of the mixtapes get a bit repetitive, and if you play the game as much as I do, you start to really get to know the soundtrack. In that vein, I can also say that certain things like knowing that boost tricks reset your manual timer aren't really explained that well in game. That move is integral to being able to link your combos between areas within levels, and I don't think any of the in-game text messages actually say that that's how it works. When I think about this game, I think about myself, and if you know me personally, you know that anytime I talk about games, a lot of times I compare them to Sonic games. Sonic is my favorite character of all time, and his series is one that I've spent way too much time playing. But because of that, some of my favorite aspects of video games, skill-based routing, reactionary gameplay, momentum-based platforming, all come from his series. If you take away the humans from Rush Cyberfunk, or I mean, don't if this is Sonic 06, and you replace them with furry woodland creatures, you basically have a really good Sonic game. BRC rewards players for understanding its mechanics and using them to outdo each and every attempt you take at getting a piece of graffiti or upping your score. Even though this game can be beaten for the first time in 6 to 8 hours, it has a foundation that allows for so much replayability. Rush Cyberfunk's story destination may be all about going all city, but the real fun to be had is in the journey along the way to how you get there.